Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you'd like that a little more formally, I'd like to say, just on behalf of me and all the me that I represent,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll do.
Any questions?
No.
No?
None whatsoever.
Great.
Colin had a problem and a microphone to spare. Thomas took it up and so the podcast went to air. For weeks and months they trawled through every single DVD. They've unwrapped all the ones they can and now they're cellulose free. Now they're cellulose free.
Hello, dear listener, and welcome to Cellulose Free. My name is Colin, and with me, as always, is my fellow film watcher, compadre and son, Thomas.
Hi, hello.
What have you been up to?
For context, and slight spoilers for what you've been up to.
Right.
For context, Colin went to Sydney.
Oh, spoilers.
And when he went to Sydney, having arrived in Sydney and at the request of others to, let people know when you've arrived in Sydney.
Yeah.
You took a picture of a sign that said SYD, your first destination. And that just sort of sat there for a bit. I didn't see it on my phone for some hours. I don't look at my phone a lot unless I am out and about.
I'm trying to think where I posted it.
You
Was it a
texted
text?
it to us individually.
Right, okay. Don't know why I did that. Okay.
Yeah. And so, later that day, Daniel went to see Iron Lung and came back, and there's a little more story to that, but not mine to tell. And came back, and we put him up to taking a photo of the street sign at the end of our street and sending that as, a notification of arrival. And after we had told him to do that, I was like, well, okay, how far can I push this? At this stage, it was just a thought. How far could I push this? What's the most absurd place that I could turn up to and have taken a picture of a sign of? And then it stopped just being a thought, because I thought about it too much, and so it became a reality. And so on Saturday, I got on a bus, and I set off.
You did?
I did.
Yeah.
The first picture that I sent was not, strictly speaking, an arrival notification. It was a house number, ominously labelled Act 1.
Mm-hmm.
And so, set off on the bus, arrived at Eastlands, took a photo of the Eastlands sign, headed into Hobart, took a photo of a sort of parody fire warning sign that instead tells you how much you should trust what you see online at the time. I believe at the time it said stay offline.
Yeah.
Which, in some ways, I was staying offline. And then there was silence from me for about an hour and a half.
Yes.
And then all the context that you received and that I was willing to give you was two pictures. One of a visitor centre and one of two very large poles adorned with the name of the town that I had ended up in, which was Geefston.
Yes.
Which was not actually as far as I could have gone. I could have gone to Dover. Where I would have been able to spend 13 minutes before getting back on the bus, or else being stuck in Dover for the next 24 hours, at least, because the next day was going to be a Sunday, which would have been even worse. And yeah, I did not actually spend more than 13 minutes in Geefston. In fact, I spent almost 0 minutes in Geefston before walking out of Geefston in order to get the shot of the two poles outside of Geefston. And then I kept going along the Port Huon to Geefston walking track in the Geeveston to Port Huon direction, which took me over a lovely boardwalk over the marshlands along the river there, and then deposited me unceremoniously at the Port Huon Sports Centre, which doesn't really have any paths leading off of it.
No.
And, eventually I got back on the bus, driven by the same driver, who I don't think recognised in any way that I was the person he'd dropped off in Geeveston an hour earlier.
Well, it's also sort of coming together now as to what you did walk and what you didn't.
Yeah.
Because we'd got the impression that you'd walked from home to Eastlands and then to town maybe, and then, the next was... It all got a bit confusing, but you walked from Geeveston to Port Huon.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. It was a lovely walk that I took a little faster than I actually needed to.
Yeah.
Down in my notes, I have it as supposed to be a 51-minute walk, and it was faster than that, even with the having to backtrack a little up the Huon Highway in order to get the picture of the two big poles adorned with Geeveston art.
Yes. Might I point out, those two big poles were supplied by your grandfather.
Right.
Mm.
Well, there we go.
Yeah. A little bit of family history there.
From Port Huon, I then took the bus into Huonville, where there isn't really a lot to do on a Saturday, especially not after about 2 p.m. When I arrived. I had some fish and chips. The chips were all right. The flake was a shard about a foot long, and that was something. Experienced a absolutely classic piece of terrible public toilet infrastructure. A sink that only produces cold water, no soap, no paper towels to dry your hands on afterwards, buttons on the toilet that the sort of panel around was not in good shape. And at this point I took a photo of the Huon Valley Council Municipal Hall and offices.
Indeed.
Yeah. And eventually it was time to work my way back home, otherwise I would be stranded in Huonville, which... slightly better on a Sunday, but not much better than Geeveston.
Yes, and to be fair, if the worst came to the worst, you do have family down there who could have at least put you up for...
Family down there who I did not have the phone number for, so...
Oh, no, but...
although I probably could have asked.
Yes, you could have.
It was fine.
And we may have given it to you.
Yeah.
For a price.
This whole thing absolutely baffled my siblings, who were quite sure that it was a stupid idea. But I thought it was funny, and that was good enough.
We were amused.
Yeah.
Yes.
All the response that I got out of you was immediately after Geeveston, 3 question marks.
Mm-hmm. Your mother and I looked at each other. I sent the 3 question marks, and then we made the decision, no, we're not going to play this game. We'll leave it at the 3 question marks. If he wants to tell us, he'll tell us. If he gets stuck, he gets stuck.
Yeah.
And we had ascertained roughly where you were, and if you got stuck, then yes, we, for a price, would have provided you with numbers for family.
Yeah. And so, winded my way back, took a picture of the sign outside of Wellington Walk in the Elizabeth Street Mall, the sign outside Rosny Farm, and then, of course, to round things out, the same street sign that Daniel had taken a picture of about 20 hours before.
Which is aimed in a somewhat dubious direction.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not really pointing in the direction that the street goes.
No, it's not.
But that's not anything new. Along the way, I did return the DVD for F9 to the library.
And said thank you very much.
Yeah. Probably, it would have been really funny if I had returned it to the library in Geeveston. But I didn't do that. I returned it. I returned it to our local.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. That would have caused confused looks all over.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was a 24, 25 degree day, so perhaps fitting a walk in was a little on the edge of why did I choose to do this? And really, I could have turned around and gone back into Geeveston proper, but it was, other than being a little warm, a nice day, and I had a nice time, and I listened to about 8.5 hours of podcasts.
Oh, good.
Leaving me with, 58 hours still in my primary backlog.
Ah. Can I make some recommendations?
No, please do not.
Okay, I won't.
Finding things for myself is bad enough for the health of my backlog.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was a day. Meanwhile, yeah, you were off somewhere.
Oh, me? Yes, yeah. Yes. Wendy and I went off to Sydney to meet up with a friend, and I'm not going to spend 13 minutes giving a recap of that, other than to say, we had a good time. Saw the Opera House, saw Hyde Park, and went on trains, went on planes, and automobiles.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was good. It was a good getaway, and we'll have to do that more often, I think.
Warmer than 25 degrees.
It was, and as luck would have it, the place that we stayed had a swimming pool and a spa on the top of the building, up 15 floors, and I took advantage of that. And it was wonderful.
Until such time as lightning forced you off the roof.
Well, yeah, I was sort of noticing how long it took between the flash of the lightning and the sound of the thunder, and when the space between those two events got a little too tight, I thought, right, time to get out. So I did, but no, I used the pool a number of times, including very, very early in the morning, just after sunrise. So, yeah, about 6:45. So it was really nice. I mean, it was already 24 degrees Celsius at, it was about 20 to 7.
Yeah.
And the water was just wonderful. The smog wasn't. There was fires somewhere, and so there was a lot of smoke haze everywhere. It made for a quite red sunrise, but the rest of the day was quite smoggy, and I think my lungs are still trying to recover from the smog and the smoke.
And I hope I did not distract you too much from the lovely time that you were having.
You're such a distraction. Yes. And other than that, today I continued on with my swimming. It was a lovely day today, and walked to Little Harra Beach and went for a swim out to the far buoys that are floating out there. First time out, there was some kind of turn, sitting on one of the buoys, and paddled back to shore, and then did some exercise, and then swam back out, and the turn was still there, and so I slowed things down, and as I went around, and it watched me and I watched it, and then went back round, and there was a cormorant there instead. But only for a very short time, because another cormorant popped up and pushed him off, and then sat there, and so I went boo, and that cormorant left as well. But by the time I did it for I think the 5th time, the turn had returned. And then walked back home, or tried to walk back home. On the trek back, I came around a corner and came face to face with a poor little wallaby that looked very much like it had broken its leg. But it was scared and hot and bothered, and I thought, oh, what do I do? And so after a number of attempts to sort of corner it, I managed to get it by the tail, basically, which sounds very undignified, which it was, but and tried to calm it down with my wet rash top, because it was white, initially I tried to cover it with my towel, which was dark, and so it was just absorbing the heat and wasn't helping. And tried to get some animal rescue out, and they were busy at the time, so called Wendy, and she came and got me. Meanwhile, the animal rescue called back, and we coordinated where we could take it. And indeed, after a 20-minute drive out to Sorel, it was determined that, yes, it had a broken upper section of leg, which basically is sort of a death knell for such animals. You really can't do much with that. So, yes, it's likely that it was put down, but better than it trying, as it was when I found it, trying to cross 4 lanes of traffic, trying to get back to bushland. It just would not have been pleasant. It would have been an ugly death. So, yeah, that was adventurous.
Yeah.
All that whirlwindness brings us back to the fact that we have not announced what we're watching this week.
No, and I still don't know.
Well, I have let you know.
You have?
Yeah, I have.
Wow.
Yeah. But as you haven't determined it, I shall read a plot synopsis.
Right.
It was quite fortuitous because it is a film that has been suggested by one of our dear listeners.
Right.
Many, many moons ago, and then popped up on Netflix.
Right.
So, if I read a plot synopsis, you should get it very, very quickly. A young Shaolin follower reunites with his discouraged brothers to form a soccer team, using their martial arts skills to their advantage. The name of the film is actually in that description, or at least the 2 words that make up the name of the film are in that description.
Right.
And thanks EFPI for suggesting this. I'm quite looking forward to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You've got nothing.
No.
It is Shaolin Soccer from 2001. A Hong Kong Cantonese martial arts parody slapstick soccer action comedy fantasy sport film.
Right.
Yeah. That's what we're watching. We're going to watch it on Netflix.
Yep.
And then we're going to come back and talk about it. So we shall catch you on the flip side as Thomas subdues his dazed and confused look.
It's supposed to be, 19 outside, but this room has gotten surprisingly warm very quickly.
It has, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there's still a great deal of heat in the ceiling. That is. Anyway.
Turn to side B.
Is it cooler on side B?
I hope so.
Right.
I assume that we'll turn all the cool things on.
If it's not, it's going to be a mongrel.
Yeah.
So what did you think?
Not quite for me. There was laughter coming from me.
There
but
was.
It wasn't,
I heard that.
It wasn't because I found the film funny. Funny things were happening.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't get there for me.
How are you with slapstick as a general rule?
I don't consume a lot of it.
No. And and when you've got the Chinese spin on it, it came a bit from left wing as opposed to left field because it's a soccer game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you believe that the 2 show developers of Avatar: The Last Airbender list this as?
I would, given that I just read that on the Wikipedia page for Shaolin Soccer.
It was uneven.
Yeah.
I had some fun with it.
Yeah.
And I also appreciated the fun that they had making it. It just exuded, we're just really having a lot of fun with this. And that aspect of it was quite infectious. So in that respect, it was so much so, look, I couldn't even make notes.
Yeah.
Once my brain had settled into okay, this is what's going on, I think.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
But I guess I would also have to say that it didn't quite tick enough boxes for me to order it on Blu-ray or DVD.
Yeah.
But it was fun enough. And it's on Netflix now.
Yeah.
I should point out that it's only available on Netflix with the English dub. There's probably other languages, but there's certainly not the Chinese original version of it, which is also 25 minutes longer. And I could almost point at where that was ripped out. There was a section where I was left, hang on, what happened then? And I think it was in the very first game where there was things were looking grim and then things turned around. There was something in between that happened, I'm sure. It just felt like we missed something there.
Yeah.
But it was fun. And we've watched it.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you, E of Pie,
Yep.
for recommending or suggesting or putting that somewhere on a list, somewhere in the dim dark past. We have watched it now. We have put a tick next to it. And Thomas, do you have anything else that you wish to share with our dear listener about that film?
No.
You're a bit dumbfounded and shell-shocked and like you've just had a soccer ball between the eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am a bit too. All right then, we'll move on then.
The following segment has no title. Thank you.
And we will move on to E of Pie
Hi, E of Pie.
on Discord, who is the author of the only comment that we received on our episode on F9. I did check, it having been 2 weeks since our last episode, and
I think again it was the fear of not guessing the title for
this was it.
for 9.
E of Pie says, "This is clearly a series that compels some people, but I've never been able to figure out why enough to watch it. So I thought the discussion at the end of the episode today on that front was interesting. With the convergence of cost to make and revenue, the next seems somewhat in the air, and I wonder how much that's a symptom of this franchise specifically, of the challenges movies as a whole are having, or the intersection of the two."
I think some news came out
Yes.
last week.
Yes, just recently we found out that instead of April of 2027, the next Fast and Furious film, which will be called Fast Forever, will be coming out in March of 2028.
And it will all be performed with the original cast driving around in mobility scooters
Yeah.
because it's been that long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eve Pie, as well as providing the only comment, does provide the only guess, saying if no one else will try, I'll go with F9. And given all of the build-up...
It's a finine guess.
Yeah.
A very finine guess.
All the build-up that was made towards that in our previous episode, you will not be shocked to learn that F9 was in fact the correct answer.
Are we still shell-shocked, Thomas?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did that just jump the shark? I don't think there's any more films to watch after that. Or are there?
If you have a guess as to what the file name for this week's film might be, and I'll be interested to see
it's a
what you
bit
have
of
there.
bit of a challenging one, this one.
Okay. Yeah. It's fairly classic as far as file names go.
It is.
I'd say.
It rolls with the tradition.
Yeah. But yes, file name guesses, or I guess film suggestions.
Thomas, the way you said that, I don't know. I don't want to read too much into it, but that seemed to be a loaded statement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Pye, do you have any more suggestions?
or comments on the film we watched, or on our commentary. Do let us know in all of the places that I mention later.
Yeah, at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we get to that. I should also point out that growing up, I lived in what was quite often a soccer family with two siblings that were goalies playing soccer. And maybe that had an impact on me, because there were certainly games that I couldn't bear watching, that it got really tense, and unfortunately got to like the sudden death scenario where it's a very fast kicker against goalie, and that's a bit rough. Anyway.
I enjoy sports for the interactions between systems, and this film doesn't really care about the interactions between systems all that much, if we're being honest.
It was soccer in very broad terms?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? It ran loose with the rules and regulations of said game? Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of the rules and regulations of said game,
yeah,
there is one more step to our game here, and it comes after this little ditty.
Pick a film for next week so we can go to bed.
And it's your turn.
It is my turn. And I'm not going to beat around the bush.
You're not?
I am not sure I have the energy to beat around the bush.
Okay.
Last year, Wes Anderson made a film. We're going to watch that film. It's called The Phoenician Scheme.
Oh, good grief. Thomas?
Yeah?
Guess what I had down for my selection next week?
Oh, well, that's a shame then, isn't it?
Oh,
Gonna have to pick something else.
I am. You beat me to the Phoenicians. Wow. Thomas, would you, while I sulk in the corner over here,
Yeah.
share with our dear listener a plot synopsis taken from
Netflix. Where it is.
Yeah.
After surviving an assassination attempt, an ornate tycoon recruits his estranged daughter to run a vast infrastructure scheme and inherit his empire.
Good. Next week, hopefully, we'll bring our A game to the... with the Phoenician scheme. And we hope that you can join us. But until then, we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
You have been listening to Cellulose Free. Your hosts were Colin, who produces and edits the show, and Thomas, who makes the artwork and music. Cellulose Free is recorded in the Deranged Cat Studios in scenic Tasmania, Australia. We keep track of our extensive physical media collection through My Movies, which we highly recommend. You can find links to that, as well as other places you can find us in the show notes. Cellulose Free is a Hi Hello production.
Assuming that I'm not completely conked out on Winter Olympics.
Is there winter soccer?
No, there isn't winter soccer. There's ice hockey.
Oh, there we go. Shaolin ice hockey.
How much of it I will actually get to see is another thing, because unlike 2 years ago in Paris, where 9 Now just had all the feeds,
right?
They've decided to put most of the non-Australian feeds behind Stan Sport, which is a $20 subscription on top of a $12 subscription.
Dream on.
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
So, no.
Well, I hope they paid large amounts of money for it and don't get it back.
Yeah.
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 They had an opportunity to actually just get more subscribers rather than, greedy. Anyway. I'm going to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bye. Bye-bye. Goodbye.